Let me talk to you for a few minutes about what I call collaborative preaching. Collaboration simply means co-laboring, and in this case means co-laboring in the gospel, co-laboring in bringing forth a sermon. In the model of collaborative preaching that I have spoken about, and there are other ways to think about this, I encourage what I call roundtable preaching, where the preacher puts together a roundtable group of about 4 to 5 laypersons that will meet regularly each week with the preacher for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to help the preacher, be involved with the preacher in brainstorming the biblical text in relation to real life on the street, in the home, and at church today. These groups would include both lay people within the church, but also people from beyond the church. And the group would change regularly so that it wouldn't become an in-group. And people rotating off the group, each person when they rotate off the group after 6, 8, maybe 10 weeks, would tag someone else to take their place and try to find someone who's interesting, might bring some different perspective to the interpretation of the gospel. The sermon form then grows out of the conversation. The preacher simply takes some dynamic or some rhythm or some trajectory within the roundtable conversation and develops that into the sermon. So sermon form is not bound to inductive, deductive, or problem solution or any other stock model of preaching, but actually grows out of an organic conversation in pursuit of the meaning of the gospel for today. I encourage that these groups meet in different locations from time to time, perhaps the homes of those who are members of the group. And having done this and talked with people who have done this, they testify that it's a very enriching experience. Lay people learn, for instance, what preaching is, how sermons are prepared. They feel empowered as interpreters of the Bible. They love to hear their input from the pulpit. They become empowered as proclaimers themselves. And I think that the Bible, in many respects, is given back to lay people. Those who participate in these groups begin to learn how to explore the Bible more deeply and in relation to their own lives. One little word of caution, ministers, preachers, when you do this, I encourage you to be active in the conversation, not simply to be a facilitator. You are certainly important stewards of the Word in that conversation. You will have done your biblical work before going into the conversation, but I would encourage you not to use that special knowledge that you have to squelch the insights of others. So just a little word of caution on that. I would say that there are other models for doing collaborative preaching. Doug Paget has an interesting model called progressional dialogue, in which he encourages this kind of roundtable brainstorming, even within the sanctuary itself on Sunday morning. Fascinating model. You might use a testimonial approach, simply bringing persons from the congregation to testify themselves to what they in fact are hearing from the Word. And certainly from the Quaker tradition, this kind of a listening model, even on Sunday morning in a spontaneous way, could be used. And another model that I've been exploring over the years has been one in which the preacher and an artist, either a visual artist or a mime artist or a musician, collaborate together on how to interpret and preach a text. My daughter and I have been doing music sermons where she's a wonderful singer. We'll take songs and text and think about ways in which we can bring those things into collaboration in the pulpit. So collaborative preaching could be done in a variety of different ways. I encourage you to give it a try.